All right, so welcome back. Today in this video, we're going to be looking at some more engineering economics review, and we're going to be focusing specifically on analysis, looking at how to analyze different projects, how to make sure that you're breaking even or profiting from a project, looking at some of the benefit to cost analysis. And so really excited about this section because it makes you think like a little bit deeper about how you're pricing things, and makes it so that you're not pretty much screwing yourself over as you get into business, if that's something that you're wanting to get into as a civil engineer. So let's go ahead and dive in. Yeah. So I know you all are trying to pass your civil FE exam, and so sometimes these problems can be a little bit confusing. So this one says a company is considering the production of a new gadget. The fixed costs for setting up the production facility amount to $50,000. Okay. The variable cost per unit is $10, and the selling price per unit is $25. Determine the break-even point in units. Okay, so let's look at this, break it down. Let's get our answer. All right, so what information are we given? We are given that we have the fixed cost, right, for setting up the production. So we're given fixed cost. Okay. We're also given the variable cost. And then we are given the selling price per unit. Okay. So, and we're trying to find the break even point. In units. Okay, so what is break even? I'm just going to do a search, right, for break even. And it's key that you don't do a break dash even, or you're not going to get a search. Now, if you search it in the bar, nothing's going to come up. Something just to note. Okay. So I see break-even analysis. I know that I'm in the engineering economics section, which is crucial. All right, I know that I'm in the right section. All right, so break-even analysis. By altering the value of any of the variables in a situation, holding all the other values constant, it is possible to find a value for that variable that makes the two alternatives equally economical. So break-even analysis is used to describe the percentage of capacity of operation from it, at which income will just cover expenses. Okay. So we want to find a point in units where we can at least sell enough units to break even. So let's say this, right? So we know that the production facility is equal to $50,000, right? And so you just have to use some logic here. So we know that the cost of the facility to pay pay it back, we need to bring in $50,000, right? And so as we're, the other side of this equation needs to have what we're selling to be able to pay this amount of money back and to have it even. So we have the variable cost. So we know that it's $10 per unit, right? $10 for each unit. Okay, and we know that we're selling it for 25. So $25 for the unit minus a variable cost for each unit. So the amount of units is in question. So we'll just do this. I'll erase this. And so we know that we have a variable, right? And it's the amount of units that we're trying to sell in order to break even. So I know if I have 25 times X, which is my amount of units, minus 10 times X is equal to the 50,000. So I know that for each, I know that there's a certain amount of units that I need to be able to sell in order to pay this facility amount and to like get my numbers to 50,000, right? So what is that number? Well, we can factor out the amount of unit. So it'd just be 25 minus 10 is equal to 50,000. Okay. So really, we'll just bring this down and say X is equal to 50,000 divided by 15. And if I put that in my calculator, I get X equals to 3,333 units. So I know I need to sell 3,333 units in order to ensure that I can pay back the money to cover the cost of the facility. So I know I've broken even, a lot of pressure. Got to make sure I sell the 3,000 units. If I do, I know that I'm good. So if I sell any more than that, then I'm in profit. I'm in profit. And I don't have to be stressed about trying to pay back everybody, right? I know I've at least broken even. All right. And so this is I kind of simplified this, and this problem is kind of simplified, but in business, just want to share some extra gems because I've actually been in business and understand how some of it works. You also have some other costs like your employees, right? The facility just isn't running on its own, right? You got employees. You're going to have taxes on some of this stuff. You're going to have chargebacks. So some people are going to send back the product. So you to be able to break even is kind of not like breaking even. So you want to go well beyond that amount to make sure you can pay out everybody to keep the business running. So just some extra nuggets there. All right. So for number 2, given the following, determine what needs to be changed in order for the project to make sense to move forward with. All right. So we got benefits of a project is $3,500, and the cost of the project is $3,900. All right. Benefits, cost. Benefits, cost. So anytime you are doing benefit and cost analysis, you're probably going to want to take a look at this information. So in a benefit cost analysis, the benefits B of a project should exceed the estimated cost C. So right now, the information that we're given is that we're given the benefits, which is 3,500. The cost versus the cost, which is 3,900. Okay. So we know right now that the benefits of the project do not exceed the cost. All right. So what should we do? We're trying to find what would make sense to be able to move forward with this. So you know that your B minus C should be greater than or equal to 0. Okay. So let's say we try A, all right? We increase the benefit cost by at least $400. So now the benefit goes from 3,500, but we increase it by at least 400. So 3,500. You cannot see this, can you? Okay, so 3,500 plus 400, because we're increasing it by at least 400, minus 3,900. Is this greater than or equal to 0? I get that it is. Okay. So that A would be good. Let's see what happens if we do B. All right, we decrease the cost by $200. So we go from the benefit cost is 3,500 minus the cost that we currently have, which is 3,900. And we're going to decrease our cost by 200. All right. Is this greater than or equal to 0? Well, I get that 3,900 minus 200, 3,500 minus 3,700 is going to be a negative 200, which is not greater than or equal to 0. So using green, but B is wrong. The project stays the same. We have a situation where we have 3,500 minus 3,900, and then we have a negative 400, which is incorrect. And then an option where not enough information was given, which is wrong again. We do have enough information, so I'm going to go with A. But that made sense. All right, let's look at number All right. Given the diagram, which is more likely to have 30% chance of happening? So in this image, I see chance mode or chance node. I see going to dinner, going to a party, staying in for the night. So our answer choices are going to a party, going to an arcade. I don't even see that in this choice node. So how is that even possible? So just from process of elimination, I don't think it's going to be B. We're staying in for the night. Cool. All right, so let's look at this. What information are we given? Given a chance node. We're also given the options. And I'm seeing some percent or some decimals. Okay, so find 30% chance of happening. So which option is more than likely going to have a 30% chance of happening? Okay, so do we need any formulas for this? Well, luckily from the last problem, we're in the engineering section, right? See if we can look up a chance node. One. Okay. So chance nodes. If you're not familiar with this, glad you're watching this video, because now you hopefully will be familiar. I can't get this thing to zoom like I want it to. All right, so hopefully you're following along with me in the handbook. The chance node. All right, this is what it looks like. You can see from our image, it looks very similar. All right, it says P1, shows P1, C1. So what do those things mean? Well, we're gonna come over and read. Big piece of this is reading. So this represents a probabilistic chance of an event. Okay, that makes sense. Each possible outcome, C1. So in our case, C1 is a possible outcome. In our question, going out to dinner is a possible outcome. Perfect. So we know C1. C2 would be going out to a party. Okay. And then C3 would be staying in for the night. So these are the possible outcomes. And then it says it has a probability, P1, which is whatever is there. So this looks like a 0.6 probability or 60% probability that you can go out to dinner. There's a 30% chance that you can go to a party. 70% chance that you'll be staying in for the night. All right. Okay. So just reading that out, I know that the probability of my chances of going to a party is going to be 30%, which is our answer. So C, we're going to go with C. So a lot of this is reading our handbook, taking the information that we get and comparing. Like if they give you a diagram, read and see what the diagram represents, get all the information that we need, and try to figure out what we're trying to find. All right. And in this question, it tells us what we're trying to find. We're trying to find the option that would be 30%. But this diagram just looks confusing until you compare it to what's in the handbook. You can see what is C1, what is C2, and match what they give you to the handbook, and you can get closer to your answer. So hopefully this was helpful. That ends the, what section was this? The analysis section. Went through break even, benefit cost, and different things. A lot of this stuff I've seen on the exam. I've had some of my students see on their exams, so I'm trying to prepare you as best as possible. In the next section, we'll be going through some uncertainty, expected value and risk. All right, just following along with what the handbook tells us. It's going to be on our test. I'm going to scroll and see if there's anything else that would be on there. But yeah, literally says uncertainty, expected value, and risk. So that's what I'm going to be covering. So if you have any questions, feel free. Don't hesitate to go ahead, reach out. I want to make sure that you are joining the success stories and passing this exam. So that is all for this section. I'll see you in the next video.